Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I am Muhammad Yasin. This is virtual class of Pakistan International School Taif. This virtual class is for the students of grade 9. This is our 24th video in this class. We are going to do Unit 11 in this lesson. After today's lesson, we shall be able to write a letter to our friend condoling his mother's death. We shall be able to do exercises, remaining exercises of Unit 11, and we shall be able to understand what is active voice, what is passive voice, and how to change active voice into passive voice. First of all, this is the letter. This is taken from your grammar book and composition. I'm sorry. It is given on page 22. The letter is to write to your friend condoling the death of his mother. Layout is the same as you are familiar with. Here will be your address. Usually you write examination hall, city ABC, date, dear Sabah, dear friend, dear Ahmad. You can write. After that, I have just received the news of your mother's death. I am really shocked to hear it. She was very noble lady. I had special attachment to her. She loved me as her own son, but the laws of nature are absolute. We have to bow before them. All my sympathies are with you. I hope that you will bear these laws with patience and courage. May her soul rest in heaven. Yours truly, Tur. This is your name. Yes, students, I think you have got the idea what is going on here in this letter. Your friend's mother has died and you are writing a letter to him, to her, condoling the death of his mother. Language is easy, suitable words and sentences are used here. This letter is taken from your book. I think you have got the idea. You understand the letter very well. Read it 3-4 times, then try to write it by yourself without looking from anywhere other. After this, we shall start the exercises, remaining exercises of our chapter 11. The next exercise is to use comma to separate a dependent clause from the main clause. Here we shall learn if there are two clauses in a sentence, one is dependent clause, the other is independent clause, then shall we write comma between these two clauses or not? I shall repeat. There are two clauses in a sentence. One is dependent clause, other is independent clause. Shall we write comma or not? Here it is written, in a sentence which has an independent and dependent clause, a comma is used to separate the two if sentence start with the dependent clause. If dependent clause is coming in the beginning, then we shall write comma. The dependent clause usually start with any of these subordinating conjunctions. These will be used in the beginning. If the same sentence start with independent clause, no comma is required. Dear students, this is a rule of thumb. If in the beginning there is independent clause, no comma. Dependent clause, comma. I shall repeat. In a sentence of two clauses, one is dependent, one is independent. If independent is in the beginning, you will not write comma in the middle. If dependent is in the beginning, you will write comma. You look here at the example. While I was eating, the doorbell rang. Here look, dependent clause is in the beginning, here is comma. But in the next sentence, independent clause is in the beginning, there is no comma. I think you have got the idea. The doorbell rang while I was eating, no comma. Here, while I was eating, this is dependent clause. I shall repeat to recognize dependent and independent. Independent clause is that which give us complete meaning. Dependent clause is that which does not give us complete meaning without the help of other clause. While I was eating, it does not give us complete meaning. That is why this is called dependent clause. Secondly, this while is subordinate conjunction. It is in the beginning. The whole is telling us that this is dependent clause. If dependent clause is in the beginning, we shall write comma. Otherwise, no. Here there are more examples. Because her alarm clock was broken, this is dependent clause, here will be comma. She was late for class, this is independent clause, there will be no comma. If dependent clause, comma. This is independent clause, no comma. When dependent clause, comma. We will clean, no comma, because this is independent clause. Yes, students, this is the exercise. Now we shall do the exercise. Mark the sentences are correct or incorrect. First of all, we shall write the sentences correct or incorrect. Then, if it is incorrect, we shall correct it. What is the rule? If dependent clause is in the beginning, there will be comma after that. If in the beginning there is independent clause, there will be no comma. Let us check number 1. Because Alia. This because shows this is a dependent clause. Then here will be comma. Is there comma? No. What does it mean? This is incorrect. Where will be comma? Here. Now it is correct. After Kaleem comes home. This after is subordinating conjunction. This is telling us that this is dependent clause. After dependent clause there should be comma. Is it there? No. This means this is incorrect sentence. How shall we correct? By putting comma. Look at number 3. The class will have the swimming lesson. This is independent clause. No comma will be there. There is no comma. This means this is correct sentence. Look at number 4. When it rains, this when is telling this is dependent clause. There will be comma. Is it there? No. This means it is incorrect. We shall correct it by putting a comma. Although Mr. Arif was sick, although is telling this is dependent clause, but here is already written a comma. This means this sentence is correct. I shall repeat the whole idea behind this exercise. Try to understand. There are two clauses in each sentence. One is dependent, one is independent. If independent clause is in the beginning, there will be no comma. If dependent clause is in the beginning, there will be comma. This is our writing skills section. In this section, we are set to write paragraph. The title is Effects of Land Pollution on Human Health. I have written here a sample paragraph. You can change it, you can add in it, you can leave from it. You can take it, keep it as it is, as you like. I shall read it for you. There can be disastrous consequences of land pollution in relation to humans, animals, water and soils. The effects are even worse if the garbage is not separated into organic, reusable and recyclable waste. Lands containing waste material can cause problems in the human respiratory system, on the skin and various kinds of cancers. The toxic materials that pollute the soil can get into human body directly by coming into contact with the skin, being washed into water sources like reservoirs and rivers. This material can get into human body by eating fruits and vegetables that have been grown in polluted soil and breathing in polluted dust or particles, all of which can cause birth effects, cancer, skin diseases, breathing difficulty, and eye irritation. Dear students, as I told you, this is just like a sample. You can change it to write your own paragraph. After this, here this is exercise B. In this exercise, we are set to write an application to the principal of your school for arranging separate bins for dry waste. Dry waste is plastic, glass, paper, etc. We shall write the application. The layout of the application is the same as you are familiar with. Always we write to the principal, Pakistan International School, Thaif, subject, arrangement of separate bins for dry waste, respected sir. Then we shall write, with due respect, it is stated that we are very thankful to you for your very kind cooperation regarding our studies. As you know, Thaif Municipality, Baldia, has started collecting organic and dry waste separately. They collect organic waste more frequently than dry waste. We don't have separate bins in our school yet. Kindly arrange separate bins for organic and dry waste in our school. It would be a positive step to cooperate with municipality. I shall be very thankful to you. Yours obediently, XYZ is your name and date. Dear students, organic waste is waste of fruits, waste of vegetables. That is called organic. That is usable for the soil as a fertilizer for the plants. In most of the countries, waste is collected by separating. Yes, different vehicles come to collect organic waste and dry waste. This application is to write to the principal to make arrangement to collect waste separately. I think you have got the idea. This is exercise C. In this exercise, we are set to write a letter to the Executive Officer, Environmental Protection Agency in our city, informing him about the irregular collection of solid waste in your area. Let us write. Yes, students, to write this letter, here will be our address in the beginning. And here will be Executive Officer, Environmental Protection, Islamabad, in sanitary condition in Chenab Town. I, on behalf of the residents of the Chenab Town, Islamabad, have the honor to invite your attention to the insanitary conditions prevailing in our town. In the absence of proper arrangement, the sanitation in our locality has become a storehouse of filth and dirt, means garbage. The streets remain unswept for weeks together and rubbish is gathered in heaps at street corners. Drains too have not been cleaned for quite a long time. They have become a breeding place for flies and mosquitoes. We have brought these things to the notice of the area health supervisor and the sanitary inspector, but to no apparent result. If immediate steps are not taken in this connection, the insanitary conditions may become a serious threat to the health of the residents of this locality. I would therefore request you kindly to look into the matter personally and make necessary sanitary arrangements in the locality. Yours faithfully, here will be name and the date. Dear students, this is a sample. As I always tell you, you can leave from it, add in it, You can keep it as it is also. You can change the words. If you find any word that you are not familiar with, you consult your dictionary. That was the letter to the sanitary. This is the last page of this lesson, and here is given the sample of a letter. If you look at this, you can see here is our address, here is the address of the chairman, and then here is the main content of the letter. After that, you write yours sincerely and your name. You may feel that we have followed this pattern that is given in your book. We have written the letter as this pattern is given here. This is to guide you. This is oral communication skill activity. Here are given expressions of advice. If you want to guide someone, if you want to give a piece of advice to anyone other, you will use the following expressions. I think you should, I don't think you should, you ought to, you ought not to, if I were you, if I were in your place, if I were in your position, I suggest that you. Such like sentences, the beginning of sentences, can be used if you want to advise someone, to guide someone. Dear students, we have completed the exercises, remaining exercises of chapter 11. Now we shall come to our grammar, and in our grammar today we are going to understand active voice and passive voice. First of all, we shall try to find out how can we recognize the sentence is in active voice or in passive voice. Then we shall try to learn how to change a sentence given in active voice into passive voice. Okay. I shall try my best to explain it. If you try a little, you can understand it. This phenomena is not so hard. It is easy to understand. If you understand it once today, it will help you for your whole life to find out the sentences in active voice and passive voice, and to change sentences given in active voice into passive voice. Your attention is required to understand how to change them. Okay, first of all, let us read. Voice is that form of a verb which shows whether the subject does something or has something done to it. Voice is something which tells us the subject is doing something or not. Subject is doing something or something is done on it. This is the voice. There are two voices in the English language, active voice, passive voice. What is active voice? A verb is in the active voice when its subject does something. Khurshid. Khurshid is the subject. Helps Nushaba. Khurshid is doing something. What is he doing? Helping. The driver is subject. Opened the door. The driver is working, doing something. The boy makes the picture. The subject is doing something. Dear students, all these sentences are given in active voice. You can see the subject is doing some work. To clarify it more, let us move forward and look at the sentences given in passive voice. A verb is in the passive voice when something is done to its subject. Nushaba is the subject here. Nushaba is helped by Khurshid. Is Nushaba doing something here? No. Nushaba is not helping. Khurshid is helping here. Nushaba is helped by Khurshid. Object is doing work here. Subject is not doing anything. The door of the car was opened by the driver. Here is driver, object. The driver is doing some work. Is the door here doing some work? No. The picture is made by the boy. The boy is object and boy is doing something. Is the subject doing here something? No. I shall repeat the idea behind it. When the subject is doing something, we shall call it active voice. If the subject is not doing anything, then we shall call it passive voice. Here, this is the second step. Now we shall try to understand if a sentence is given in active voice, how can we change it into passive voice? We see that the following changes take place when a sentence is changed from the active into passive voice. The subject becomes the object. Yes, subject and object change their places and the object becomes subject. The principal verb is changed into the past participle. Yes, if it is not already in that form and is preceded by some form of the verb be. We shall try to understand it more in our exercise. The preposition by is added. I shall repeat it. Number 1, subject and object will change their position. Number 2, verb will change into past. Number 3, by will be added. Let us move. Following is a list of sentences changed from the active into the passive voice. The mother loves the children are loved by the mother. They are buying. This is continuous tense. When it is continuous, we use being. The house is being bought by them. Can you see? They has become here. They was the subject. It has become object. This house was the object. It has become the subject. The same is done here. She has not beaten the dog. The dog will become in the beginning. She will come at the end in the form of her. And this by is added here. She bought 5 videos. 5 video films were bought by her. She gave me 5 films. I was given 5 films by her. Why did I write such a letter? Why was such a letter written by her? She was teaching the students. The students were being taught by her. This is past continuous tense. They had gained nothing. Nothing had been gained by them. He will write a letter. A letter will be written by him. We shall have killed the snake. The snake will have been killed by us. These are 10 types of different tenses which are given here, and we learn how to change them into passive voice. This is the exercise. In this exercise, we are said to change the following sentences into passive voice. She likes apples. Apples are liked by her. The boy is climbing the wall. The wall is being climbed by the boy. We did not hear a sound. A sound was not heard by us. They have bought a horse. A horse have been bought by them. Part number 5 is the board has given me a gold medal. A gold medal has been given to me by the board. He praised the boy for his courage. The boy was praised by him for his courage. The teacher was helping the students. The students were being helped by the teacher. Why were they beating the boy? Why the boy was being beaten? They have not done their job. Their job have not been done by them. A car ran over an old man. An old man was ran over by a car. Yes, students, let us look at the rules again. Can you see a car, old man? Old man has become here in the beginning and car has become at the end. They have changed their position. Here was ran over, was is written here to change the tense. And this by is added here in this sentence. And this is part number 11. He will give you a box of chocolate. We shall start our answer by writing You will be given a box of chocolate by him. He had told me to do it. I had been told by him to do it. They had not done their homework. Their homework had not been done by them. We shall have finished our work by March next. Our work shall have been finished by us by March next. He took away my books. My books were taken away by him. Yes, students, these are sentences 16 to 20. I am not going to write it. I shall tell you the answers only. You have to understand and write it by yourself. The sudden noise frightened the child. First of all, we shall change the position of subject and object. The child will become, the child will come in the beginning and I'm sorry. The sudden noise will come at the end. The passive voice sentence will become the child was frightened by the sudden noise. The child was frightened by the sudden noise. We use milk for making cheese. We use milk. Milk is the direct object here. We shall study later what is direct object and indirect object. Here is the object milk. We shall use this milk as our subject in our passive voice sentence. The passive voice answer will become milk is used by us for making cheese. Milk is used by us for making cheese. Sentence 18 is why is he mending the chair? The chair will become subject and answer will be the chair is being. Why the chair is being mended by her. Why the chair is being mended by her. Being will be there because here is mending. Why the chair is being mended by her. The doctor asked her to stay in bed. Her will become she. She was asked by the doctor to stay in bed. What will be our answer? She was asked by the doctor to stay in bed. They caught the thief. The thief was caught by them. The thief was caught by them. This will be the answer of part number 20. Dear students, we try to get the idea of active voice and passive voice. To develop the idea of active voice, passive voice, we learn to recognize them. We learn to change active voice into passive voice. This is taken from your book. Read it from your book again and again until you get full understanding of active voice and passive voice and learn to change active voice sentence into passive voice. Dear students, that is all. And in your homework you will learn and write the letter that we did today. After learning and writing the letter, you will learn and write active voice, passive voice exercise that we did today. Prepare it, then write it in your notebook. After that, we have done some exercises, remaining exercises of chapter 11. You will do all these exercises which are done today in your notebook. That will be your homework. Dear students, it is always homework what we finish in our classwork. If you do not do it by yourself in your notebook, you will forget it. You will learn nothing. The next day you will lose everything. To memorize it, to learn it completely, to make it part of your memory, it is very important you do it by yourself in your notebook. Then you can learn it, memorize it, you can prepare it for the examination. Dear students, that is all from our today's lesson. See you later in a new lesson. Goodbye.